and welcome back to Weird Dough, the show where we're going to make every recipe in Kim Joy from the Great British Bake Off's cookbook.
Weird Dough, Kim Joy Bakes.
This is going to be our first ever two-part episode. We are going to make this snowy Christmas cake. It is so beautiful. It's a perfect wonderland with all these adorable little houses and the pretty trees and some snow falling, and it is just perfect for the holiday season, and I can't wait to make it. But today's episode, we're going to make the ginger cookies that go around the cake. So the recipe for today are Kim Joy's ginger cookies. So let's get started. So Kim Joy says these cookies are perfect for anything that you want to shape because when you bake them, they actually hold their shape. So let's give it a try and see if ours hold their shape. Fingers crossed. Now we're gonna add our first three ingredients to the bowl. We have salted butter here. She said to do 2/3 cup of butter, but I had to Google how much that was because on the side of the butter it just says tablespoons. So you know, 2/3 cup of butter is 11 tablespoons. It's a lot of butter. The second thing we add is molasses. We want to make sure we get it all in there. It's pretty stuck to the bowl. We also add the sugar. This is the second Kim Joy recipe we've done in a row that has only brown sugar in it, which I am so into. So we take our three ingredients and we beat them on high till fluffy. Remember, start out slow. Some of the brown sugar is really clumped, so I'm just trying to chop it up a little so it gets mixed. Let it go a little longer. Okay, so that looks about fluffy. So for this recipe, it doesn't call for a certain number of eggs. It calls for 2 tablespoons of beaten egg. Just gonna whip it like you were gonna make scrambled eggs or something. And let's see if this is 2 tablespoons of egg. Eggs are hard to measure like this. Okay, 1, 2. 2 tablespoons of beaten egg. It's not even a full egg. This is how much is left over from 1 egg. So I'd say an egg is about 3 or 4 tablespoons. It's a lot of egg. We also add the spices, which I almost forgot. Cinnamon, cloves, and ginger. Mixed briefly. Now, here comes the hardest part probably of the whole recipe, getting this off of here. New method. Take it off and bang it on the side. New pro tip. Let's taste it. Tastes like Christmas. So the next thing is to add the flour. And instead of using the mixer, you use your hands, which I love to use my hands. I think it's the most effective way to mix cookie batter. Take off your rings if you're wearing any because they will get gross. And just get your hands in there and just kind of squish it together until you make a nice dough. It's really sticking here. Let's put the rest of the flour so maybe it'll be less sticky. Ooh, this dough is soft. Like really soft. We have one little ball of dough. It looks perfect. I mean, I think it looks perfect. Now that our dough is ready, we're gonna roll it out and cut it into cookies. The first thing we're gonna do is take some flour and dust it all over the surface. So you wanna have a nice floured surface so that your cookie dough doesn't stick to the mat. Perfect. You don't wanna do your whole ball of dough at once. You just want to do part. So we'll take maybe like 1/3 of it and we'll do 1/3 at a time. So ball it up, squish it flat, flip it over, dust your flour in between so there's always flour under. So you take your rolling pin, put a little flour on that, no sticking anywhere, and you just gently roll the dough. When you get it about to here, you want to flip it over to make sure that it's not gonna stick. We had a lot of flour, nothing's gonna stick here. This bad boy. You see these? These are chunks of brown sugar. Maybe you get a chunk of brown sugar and you're like, oh my God, this is the best cookie I've ever had in my whole life. Fingers crossed. So we've rolled it out pretty good. And Kim Joy says for it to be about the size of a coin. So I have a nickel here and let's just kind of see. I think it's a little thicker than a coin, but a coin is really thin. So I think this is probably thin enough. We're gonna go with it and see. I got these 2 really cute cutters. So I get this house and this snowman. So let's make some of each. A good pro tip is to just put a little flour on your cutter so it also doesn't stick. Flour everything you can. You want to go all around the dough that you rolled out so that everything is as close as it can be. You don't want a lot of extra dough for each rollout because the more you roll the dough, the tougher it gets. So you want to do as many as you can with each roll. Pro tip. This dough is so soft. Okay, let's see if we can get the house from here to the tray. Let's move the tray a lot closer. We're gonna try using the spatula and see. Flour it, shimmy it like this. Ah, one little house. And then you toss it on the tray. Here's our first few. Now, what you can do with all these scraps is you just ball it up and do the same thing over again. So you don't want to just throw this away because that's so wasteful. This batter smells really good. I guess it's a dough, not a batter. So we have the one house cutter, but only the one. So since we want to have like a few different houses so it looks like we're building a snowy city, I'm gonna use a knife to cut out some more square house style shapes. I have this butter knife thing. We're gonna use this because there's no serrated edge, and the serrated edge will leave little bumps on the edge of your cookie, and you don't want that. And the dough isn't hard to cut, so you could use anything. You could use like the edge of a spatula or whatever, but no serratedness. So we're just gonna go down like that, and we're just gonna make a nice tall apartment building. That'll be my apartment building here in the city. You can always add more flour if you need. More flour the better, in my opinion. Drawing a house is like something 5-year-olds do. I don't know why I can't think of like how to draw a house. Let's see the other kinds that Kim Joy draws. This bad boy, he's intense. He might require the spatula. This is the mayor's house, the mayor of the town. So big. Good use of the dough. Maybe one more snowman, just cause. Okay, so now we have all of our cookies on the tray ready to go. And the next thing we do is we pop them in the fridge for 15 minutes to cool before we pop them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes to bake. 15 plus 10 is 25. In 25 minutes, we'll have some cookies. Okay, so we have all of our cookies out of the oven, some cooling there on the tray and some cooling here on the racks. They came out really nice. They really held their shape, but they're not as dark as I thought they would be, but they still look great. To decorate the cookies, we're going to use a white royal icing. Now, royal icing is 2 ingredients, confectioner's sugar and egg whites. It's a little tricky because you need it to be a perfect consistency for good piping. So it's a lot of like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, like so many times to get it right. But we're gonna try and do it as perfectly the first time as we can. Kim Joy says to start with 1.5 cups of icing sugar or confectioner sugar. We'll just dump that in. Ooh, pretty. A lot of snow today, snow everywhere. And then we're gonna take our eggs. So again, she doesn't say, oh, 3 eggs. What she says is 2 2/3 tablespoons of egg white. I mean, come on. I guess we'll just start with 1. So the first thing you have to do is separate it. So you crack it, then you pry it apart, and you let the white part drip in, and you go like this. Separate it. We're gonna try to get at least do 2. So let's see, we have 1 egg here. No, we're just gonna put the whole thing in. 1 egg white of 1 egg. Now we just beat it until it becomes an icing. The pro tip from Kim Joy is you want a 15-second icing. So stir it, and then you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not enough. It needs to be the perfect thickness to be able to use, and it doesn't run all over the place. So ours is like way too thin, so we have to add some more back and forth and back and forth. I'm gonna try to develop the 1 egg white method of royal icing and know exactly how much powdered sugar to 1 egg white. That's gonna be my new baking journey goal. Look for it eventually in some other episode. This looks like a pretty good icing. That was the fastest I've ever done it. Maybe I am a pro. I don't know. Maybe I am learning from Kim Joy. So now we're gonna take our perfect royal icing and just 2 back and forths, and we're gonna put it into our piping bag. So Kim Joy's tip is to buy a seamless piping bag. I still cannot find that anywhere. So if you use this bag, which has a seam, when you pipe it out, your icing will be flat, which we don't want that. We want like a really nice round tip. So I have these 2 little, really thin round tips. and we're gonna use those because we want it to be round. New method here. Put it in the glass for the pro tip. New scoop and scrape. So we'll scoop about half. Oh my God, I did it wrong. All right, start over. So now what you're supposed to do is put your tip in. Royal icing goes a really long way, you'll be surprised. It's not like buttercream where you need like 15 recipes of it. Well, at least I do. This is my favorite tip I've learned off the internet. Well, favorite tip I've learned off the internet in the past month. How about that? First, we're gonna do the mayor's house because I really like it and it's giant and it's weird and we're gonna do it. So I think the goal is to make them all look kind of like they have a snow top roof. So we'll use our thicker tip first and we'll try to get like a nice snowy roof. Flip your hair for this bad boy. Here we go. So the key to piping is you have to have a nice even pressure the whole time. The more even your pressure is, the straighter your line will be. So we have, I broke the cookie. What's that? It's really good. Okay, we broke the mayor's house. Let's start again. We're gonna do the cookie cutter house. Maybe the mayor lives here now. I don't know. We have a few little toothpicks here. You can take the toothpick and zhuzh it where you want it to be before it dries. You need to push it before it dries. Cute, I love it. I think this icing might be too thick. It doesn't look great. He's okay. He could be better. Let's try again. It needs to come out thinner. Otherwise, you're never gonna have the detail that we want. Let's try it again with the snip and see if we can get a nice thin tip. Rather have a flat line that's really thin than a round line that's like going everywhere. Royal icing, man. It's like just really hard to do. It looks so easy on TV. Let's try and do a line. Oh, it looks good. Okay, that's the best line we've made so far. You squeeze, pick it up, put it down. Guys, it looks really good. Let's do the apartment building. Kim Joy does a lot of like hearts. So let's put some hearts on our apartment building. Since this is my house, let's put some hearts on it. Cute, into it, hearts. So we're gonna try to put like the snow caught under the window. That's like kind of what she did, which I think looks so cute. It worked. Obsessed. This is my house. It came very cute. We're not gonna eat this one today. This one's definitely going on the Christmas Wonderland cake. Okay, so we have some of our cookies here all decorated and ready to go. They're gonna look so cute on top of our snowy Christmas cake and I cannot wait to make it. I particularly love my apartment building and this little snowman. Actually, I kind of love them all. They're all like really fun and kitschy and weird. Perfect. They're not as dainty as Kim Joy's are, but I don't know what her trick is really for piping aside from that seamless piping bag, which I literally cannot find. So if you guys know anything about that seamless piping bag she always talks about, I would love to know. Love to know. Comments below. So I think we should taste one. This one's my least favorite. This was before we switched the bags, so we're gonna try this one. It's still like really cute, but here we go. It's really good. It tastes just like a gingerbread cookie. The spices come through, they're really nice. I like the sweetness of the royal icing because the cookie itself isn't really that sweet. It's great. I am surprised by how soft they are and I don't know how they're gonna stand up inside the cake. I don't know. Fingers crossed next episode we get them inside the cake. See you next time, bye.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have thumbs, and feel free to subscribe. If you want to see the behind the scenes footage, follow me on Instagram.